Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery with the purchase of any smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Matt Moscano.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscano.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Jordan Kitchen.
Jordan, 20-footer, head of the key, good!
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. We will continue our SEC Fall Preview Series in 30 minutes from right now. Our buddy John Nabors will be here to talk about the Hogs. And then Ross Jackson joins us from L.A., from Carson, man. In hour number 3, Saints-Rams joint practice should be wrapping up right about now, as a matter of fact. Actually, about an hour ago, they should have been wrapping up. As soon as they finish all the post-practice availability, Ross is going to jump on with us, tell us what he saw. 1 year ago, right about this time, we invited our buddy Brandon Taylor, former Tiger great, onto the show. We talked a little safety play, defensive back play. And as you might imagine, he was passionate and heated watching LSU go through what they went through as a secondary and as a defense in 2023. Well, there was marked improvement in 2024, but it's still not to the standard. So I figured let's have BT back and wrap a little bit. Man, we always appreciate the time. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. How's everything going on your end?
Awesome, man. I mean, 2 weeks away from football, and 2 weeks away from LSU football. I mean, week 0 is next week. So, I mean, it's here, man. I'm fired up for it. Man, let me just start with where you fall on what type of improvement you saw a year ago in that defense in year 1 under Blake Baker from 2023 to 2024.
The biggest key I've seen as far as improvement on that defense was communication. You didn't see guys throwing their hands up in the air, talking to each other in the middle of a play, or pointing fingers at the end of a play. Yeah, we were in the right places at the right times, but we wasn't executing and making the play as far as tackles or making the 50-50 play on jump balls or just making an interception on things. You just got to learn to execute at the end of the play and play the play to the fullest.
There's 2 parts there. I want to talk about both. First, to what or whom do you attribute the better communication? Like, why did they improve in that area, do you think?
I think it was Blake Baker and a lot of Corey Raymond, because both of those coaches are big on communication. And knowing Corey Raymond, he's a technician to the T. Like, he's big on communication, pre-snap reads. If a DB and a safety got combo calls, like being over-exaggerant with your calls and everything. And Blake Baker, he's just a magician as a defensive coordinator. So you mix those 2 things together, you'll get guys in the right place at the right time. They just got to make the plays when they get there.
Brandon, I'll come back to making the plays when they get there in a second. What do you like about Blake Baker?
I like it because he brings the energy to him. He brings the energy to the defense. He's not calling anybody out specifically by name or anything or pointing fingers. Everybody's being held accountable on that defense, and he's changing. He knows how to change with the times of the game as far as year in and year out and while the game is going on, and that's what you need in today's football.
Former Tiger great Brandon Taylor is hanging out with us. So the other part you said, aside from the communication, was the ability to execute when they got near to make a play. Man, it was not good last year. I mean, the safety spot was a glaring weakness. how much, like, Brandon, how much of that do you think is effort? How much of that is just like God-given ability? If you could make that make sense for us here.
To me, and just being this experience-wise, just being in that situation live in effect and living it and actually doing it at a high level, as far as the communication-wise, I think that's, and knowing where somebody's supposed to be, I think that's 25-75. 25% the coach to teach you, 75% of the player to learn, actually study, and communicate and apply it on the field. But executing the play when you get there, I think that's an 80-20. A coach, like with Coach Miles, he took full control of that. We hit every day in practice to the point where the game was easy when it came to being physical and executing when you got to a point to where you got to that play. But with me, a coach don't have pads on. He got a clipboard and a headset, and all he is a communicator and a director. The person with the pads on, execution-wise, that's 100% you. I put all blame on players, not because I'm just watching the game, because, no, I went out there and done it. Have I made every tackle? No. But I took
accountability and went back, watched the film, and made it a point to touch the man with the ball. Not if we just even when we're not tackling at practice, just to fit him up and touch him, run across the field, just giving effort. Like, that's 100% on the player, and I bow on that hill.
He's Brandon Taylor. I'm glad you went to physicality. So we've talked about this a bunch, Brandon. I mean, you played for Les in an era where start practice with big cat drill, man, he would try to grind y'all into dust when you could do two-a-days and all that sort of stuff. You can't do it anymore, Brandon. I mean, they limit the number of full padded practice. They limit the number of full contact practices that they can have. You can't do two-a-days anymore. I mean, how much does that? I mean, clearly it affects the game, Brandon, but how much and in what ways do you think that affects the product we see on Saturdays?
Man, that's a pretty tricky question, because I know some days we was out there hitting that. I wish I could have a unpadded practice and just fit people up. But it kind of it's a tricky situation. Like, you don't want to have too many days where you just fitting up and everything, but you want to have plays, because you want to see what you got. You got to see who's your aggressors on defense and who can communicate the play and finish it out. You can have a good communicator. I know a bunch of good communicators that can line the defense up and everything, but they were scared to hit when time came to be. And you got people that can go out there and lay the hat, but they don't know where they're going and where they need to be at. So you got to find that silver lining in that, and that's where that practice comes in, to where you mold that player to where you want them to be at, as far as the communication and mixing the physicality in it. But as far as with those guys, I mean, they should be fresh as hell on Saturday. They should be out there ready to lay some wood. There's no excuse at that point. It's really no excuse.
Brandon, what do you make of this year's safety group?
I think this year's safety group I think they went and got what's going to fit a Blake Baker defense, and as far as a physicality-wise of what safety used to be. Bigger body guys that can run, that can move, and that's done it on a high level as far as communicating-wise and finishing plays, as far as interceptions, tackles, and everything like that. And you're going to get veteran guys who's learned the playbook before, earned a starting position, done it on the field, and now they got to do it again. This is just a repeat button for them. And I think that them coming into the SEC, they got something that they want to prove.
So I want to ask specifically about A.J. Halsey, who we've been out there. Brandon, I don't know how much practice you've been able to see, but is a guy who was not here in the spring, right? I mean, he was a spring addition, so he's just 2 weeks into practicing with LSU, and you go out there and you're like, oh, 13's the new guy from Houston. I mean, you can just tell. Like, he's physical, he knows where to be, he's all over the field making plays. And I would attribute that, Brandon, the fact that he's played in 36 games with 33 starts. He has played a ton. But if I asked you, like, makes sense for me that experience curve when you physically can do it, but you've played 36 collegiate games. Like, how much better does that obviously experience matters, but like in what ways, how much does that make you better?
It's just like a kid just growing up. When that baby fat fall off of them, and you see how energetic and how they move around and everything like that, it's when you got a veteran guy like that that's played a lot of football, there's a limited amount of hesitation in him as far as reacting to plays and everything like that. All he has to do is learn the playbook. The instincts that's fine-tuned. That's sharp as a knife because he's done it. He's been there and he's seen it at a high level and for a substantial amount of games. He's just going to be in a bigger arena doing it.
How do you feel about LSU playing the opener against
And you got to think, Matt, the receivers he going against in practice, he's at a track meet every single day. So ain't no the speed is different, this and that. He's seeing the speed right now. He's actually seeing the fastest of the fast in the SEC.
What do you think about how do you feel about playing an opener at Clemson?
Man, I'm kind of jealous. I mean, Dallas playing against Oregon was nice, but I mean, to go to a team that has the same name as you, the same mascot, Dabo Swinney, they won national championship. You beat them in the national championship in 2019. What more can you ask for? This is a young boy that grew up in the South, particularly Louisiana. That's a dream come true. That's what you want. You lose sleep at night for games like this. Like you can't ask for nothing better than this.
Pretty easy to see why you wore number 18, man. A lot of dudes will line up and go to battle behind you any day, man. Who do you think is going to wear 18? Do you know, by the way?
I can't tell you that, Matt. On the radio.
But do you know? Do you know? You don't have to tell me, but do you know?
No, we still haven't made a decision yet. We still checking out everything. I mean, it's just one of them things where you're not a biased person in this type of situation. Like, you look at every player and you judge them basically the same way and base the same guidelines and everything. And you want to make that right decision of who you put that stamp on as 18.
All right, do you think that do you like that there's one on offense and one on defense, or should it just be one guy?
It should be just one guy.
All right. Who should it be?
When you get in your vehicle, is it two people with their hands on the steering wheel?
No. I'm with you.
Then.
Should be one.
Okay.
I'm with you. I don't disagree with you, but I didn't wear 18. I don't get a vote. Nobody asked my opinion. I'm asking you. I'm asking your opinion.
Oh, yeah. I think it should just be one guy.
All right, who should it be?
I can't tell you that, Matt.
I just want your opinion. I'm not saying who is it going to be. I'm saying, like, if all the 18s got together and you got to vote and you had to write somebody's name on a piece of paper and put it in a hat, who you voting for?
Put it like this. If it's solely on me, it's going to be a lot of similarities in a person that I would pick. I got to play with two of my brothers at LSU my freshman year. And I wore 18.
Okay.
So that's a little trivia for you. Who else got two brothers out there?
Well, there's 3 players that have 2 brothers.
Oh.
So
ones that you think should wear 18.
Well, there's 2 of them, but maybe just one of the 2?
Yeah, one of the 2.
The older one or the younger one?
Oh, damn, show the younger one. That's like a hungry there. Hey, that's a bad man. That's somebody that could put his hands on the steering wheel while BT got his on him.
Let's go, man. I love it, dude. Dude, Witt is a guy, man. I mean, you realize, Brandon, he had more tackles last year than Devin White did in his Butkus season.
He's a magnet.
How about
He's
that?
He's a workaholic.
I know, man. All right, we got Brandon. I got you to vote. I knew I was going to get it out of you. I knew we were going to get there. We were going to get there eventually, BT. It was going to happen. Hey, man, always fun to talk. Appreciate a couple minutes of your time today, man. All the best, all right?
All right, Matt, anytime. You have a good one.
All right, man. Be well. That's Brandon Taylor, former number 18. I mean, dude was a strong safety on greatest defense I ever saw, 2011. And And Mike Detillier used to always call him the chirper. He was the guy that would talk. He was the traffic cop. He was the guy keeping that defense, everybody in line. Man, they were awesome. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You know, a lot of people, maybe you get toward a milestone anniversary. What about trading in your old diamond ring for an upgrade? Look, a lot of us, let's be honest, man, we get married, maybe we're in our 20s, whatever the case may be, a little bit on a budget. And, you know, you get to your 20-year anniversary, you're in your 40s, your 50s, whatever the case may be. You know, you've gotten along in your career a little better place financially. Maybe you trade in that old diamond and upgrade. You do that over at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. 9 locations in all: Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, glad you're hanging out with us here. 15 minutes, we'll head up to Arkansas, talk to our buddy John Nabors, covers the Hogs. Man, I talked to John at Media Days, and I have never, been doing this a long time, y'all, I've never heard John that down about this Arkansas team. But we got 2 more teams to go. Arkansas today, Oklahoma tomorrow. We'll wrap up our fall preview series of LSU's 8 SEC opponents. So we'll chat with John here in about 15 minutes. Well, now I got a quick break. Continue on AFR.
AFR.
Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Look at the calendar, y'all. It is August the 14th. We are creeping close to mid-August. It's fall. It is time to plant those fall vegetable gardens. Have you ever had like farm-to-table or garden-to-table produce? It is incredible when you eat something that fresh. Actually, shout out to my buddy Schwartz, Michael Schwarzenberg. Even when we were in college, dude had a vegetable garden in his backyard. When we were in college, dude, we'd go over there. I mean, he would grill up those vegetables right from his garden. Incredible. Great fun activity to do with your family as well. Get the kids involved. You can watch them grow. Healthy. Get you some exercise. Get your hands in the dirt. Clegg's Nursery. They got Johnny Naylor seeds. They got your vegetable plants, all your fall bedding plants. Great time to get by and see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations. So buy local, shop local. Been doing it for 60 years. So be sure to tell them that Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
After further review with Matt Moscano, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Test yourself, test your rules. You're going to go against the best of the best in a controlled environment. So there's a little bit of, player safety added to this. And so, it'll be a lot of reps. It'll basically be a full game for our ones tomorrow. And so that'll allow them. And then we got 2 days before Jacksonville, and so we can assess that at that point.
That's Kellen Moore when he was meeting with reporters about today. Today's joint practice with the Saints and the Rams, which is wrapped up. About 1 hour from right now, Ross Jackson is going to join us. Ross, of course, has been out there in L.A. with the Saints for as long as they've been out there. He was at the joint practices today. He'll give us a full recap of everything. But Kellen Moore went into a little bit more detail about how he feels these joint practices can help the team.
Just how your system's in place. What are your rules as far as, what the protection plan is, what the route combination is, what's your checks or your audibles based off a particular look, and, they'll challenge us. They'll challenge us. They got some of the best players in the world on their team as well, and so you'll come out of this with a couple mistakes, a couple things schematically that you can do better. Guys like Kelvin will get a chance to play against some, really good edge rushers in our league, just get different exposure. He's played Chase and Cam and Grando for a little while, and so now he gets another exposure, so it's great for everyone.
I love the idea of joint practices. So often the joint practices are you'll hear coaches and players say sometimes the joint practices are even more beneficial than the preseason games themselves because just of what Kellen Moore said there. You get a lot of one-on-one work. Ones-on-ones work, I should say, is a better way to say it. A couple of other things that Kellen Moore talked about that I thought really interesting. The running back spot's one we're watching very closely. Kendre Miller, in limited action on Sunday, showed some explosiveness, especially on the kickoff return. The disappointing part is we're not getting to see Devin Neal, the rookie out of Kansas, the 6th-round draft pick, who leading rusher in Kansas history. I think everybody's been really high on, but the unfortunate soft tissue injury that's going to keep him out for a little bit here. Kellen Moore gave an update on Devin Neal.
It happens. Obviously, the medical part of this is really important. We can't have setbacks, and so we got to do the recovery process the right way. I think he's on an excellent plan. He's building the right way. We like where he's heading. So far on the field, he's done an excellent job, and so we'll just see how it takes course.
The guy who maybe is going to be the beneficiary the most so far has been Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and in large part because of Clyde's willingness and ability to block. And that might be what ultimately allows him to make this team, where you've got two veterans there with Clyde and Cam Akers. We all know that Kamara will make this team. It seems very increasingly likely, provided he's healthy, that Kendre Miller is going to make the team. The question is, are you going to keep 3 or 4? And if that third back is a veteran, is it Cam Akers, is it Clyde? Well, I think we're all selfishly very, very much pulling for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the local guy, the LSU guy. Here was Kellen Moore when he was asked why Clyde has started to get more reps.
Yeah, that's a big part of this running back group is all of them can run the football. They've all checked that box. They're all pretty good runners. They all, fortunate for us, all of them have the ability to catch the football. The protection thing is really, really hard for these running backs. These linebackers blitz really, really well in this league. Our group, certainly led by DeMario, is the best in the business at that, and so it's really challenging for these guys. They got to have really good eyes. They have to understand what the O-line's protection responsibilities are. It's a challenge, and so Clyde definitely has taken some steps. He did an awesome job on Sunday against the Chargers. He had some excellent on the touchdown throw. He goes up there and steps up and blocks the linebacker. It's big-time football by him.
One thing for me to say it, it's another when the head coach of the team says it. And listen, I have watched Clyde play since he was 14 years old. This isn't it's not a back pat or anything like that. I happen to be calling the Catholic High games when he played there. And Clyde was the first ever freshman ever to play varsity at Catholic High. And the first touch of his high school career, they were playing Parkview Baptist at Parkview. I'm sorry, it was at Olympia Stadium. And he returned a punt for a touchdown on his first touch of his high school career. You heard Kellen Moore say it. Like, all of the guys can run. If you're at this level of football, all of the guys know what to do with the balls in their hand. They can all run. Like, Clyde has that. We saw it in high school. We saw it at LSU. It's why he's a first-round pick. We've seen it in the NFL. The guy's won a Super Bowl. He's hung around the league now for a while. Like, it's undeniable. But the thing about Clyde that's always been a differentiator, that if you go ask, so Gabe Fertitta, who was the offensive coordinator, then the head coach at Catholic, who went to Louisville and Florida State, and now is the offensive coordinator at Nichols. If I had Gabe sitting right here next to me, and I know Gabe well and he's awesome, and I asked Gabe about Clyde and the differentiator, he'd tell you his lower body strength, and we've seen that throughout his running style. His ability to, despite the fact that he's a smaller guy, it's his lower body. He can move a pile despite the fact that he's a smaller guy. High and tight, ball security, blocking ability. Like, those things define Clyde, I think, as a player. He runs stronger than you think. He never fumbles, and he can block. Because the other part of it is what Kellen Moore said. At this level, all the guys can run. They're all fast and athletic and twitchy and move, and like, you're an NFL running back. Of course you can. Like, are we really differentiating between 4, 5, 6, and 4, 4, 9? Okay. Whatever. If Clyde makes his team, it's going to be because of that. And Kellen Moore, by the way, this may not mean anything to you, but like, when I look at the audio sheet of Kellen Moore's answers to questions, 14 seconds, 16 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 17 seconds, there's one that's 36 seconds. It's the answer about Clyde. When a coach who never says anything finally says something, take note, because it matters. Like, at this point, I would give Clyde a significant advantage to make the team because of that. Especially with a rookie or second-year quarterback. You got a back that can help protect that dude where bullets are flying fast? Yeah. At this point, I'd be surprised if Clyde did make the team. All right, y'all. Of course, we're all pulling for them. We're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Tell you every day do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Richard Tilley and Joe Morales and Trent Davis and our whole crew over at Parish Construction and Roofing. It doesn't matter if it's commercial or residential. You need a soft wash. You need gutters. We can do all of it at your home or your commercial building. And we have roofing systems for any type of building. I think about every time I pass Industrialplex in Baton Rouge, all those metal warehouses. You know, like if you work in those, own those, you know how hot it gets in those metal warehouses with the metal roofs. We have systems that we can install, affordable, by the way, affordable systems that can dramatically reduce the temperature in those warehouses. Talk to Matt Pearson, our commercial roofing manager, knows more about roofing than anybody I've ever met in the history of my life. But we got all the knowledge to know how the systems, the processes, the people. It's Parish Construction and Roofing. We'll treat you great. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know, Parish Construction and Roofing. Okay, y'all. Let me knock out a break. We'll continue our SEC fall previews when we come back. Nobody's expecting much of anything from the Arkansas Razorbacks, but Taylor Green's a really good player. They got some veterans on that team, but it is a brutal schedule. So how's it going to shake for Sam Pittman? We'll ask John Nabors next.
After further review.
Remember the Watermark downtown Baton Rouge, voted by you the best hotel in the best of 225. I mean, it's my opinion, but it's also a fact. It is, the Watermark is the premier hotel in Baton Rouge. And you might say, Matt, I live in Baton Rouge. Why would I go stay at a hotel? Well, sometimes there's an event in downtown Baton Rouge. And instead of driving home after the event's at the River Center, why not stay at the Watermark, walk to the event, enjoy downtown, walk back to your hotel, have dinner there at the Gregory, enjoy the lobby bar, wake up on Sunday morning, have Sunday brunch there at the Gregory inside Watermark Baton Rouge. Or maybe you're thinking about football Saturdays. Hang out in downtown Baton Rouge, casual ride on into town, right up Nicholson, and then right back to the Watermark to stay. It's Watermark Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge's premier hotel property, celebrating a century this fall. It's Watermark Baton Rouge. Check them out today, Watermark Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscano, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
When I was at SEC Media Days last month, literally the last interview I did before I left the College Football Hall of Fame and went to the airport was a sit down with John Nabors. And I have never heard John more down on Arkansas than that conversation. August is by nature the month of optimism. Everyone's undefeated. Everyone thinks their team is it's a bounce back year. Their team's going to the playoff. Their team's winning the Natty. Their quarterback's winning the Heisman. It's always optimism in August. So I'm curious what the disparity might be right now, if John has caught the optimistic bug in August. John, thank you for the time as always. How are you?
I'm very optimistic today. How about you?
Is that a fair characterization, John, when I talked to you in July, that you were about as down on Arkansas football as maybe I've ever heard you?
No, I think that's an absolutely fair way of saying it, because it's something to where you try to really get the entire vibe of the fan base and understand where they're coming from, and you can always feel energy. Like, that's the one thing that is just human nature, and especially in sports. You know, we talk about home field advantages. You know, you feel energy and you feed off energy, and then you can always kind of do a vibe check and seeing where that energy is at. And for Razorback fans right now, the energy is as low as it's ever been. Now, it's, you know, as you said, August comes around, fall camp comes around, you start to get a little bit more. But going into this year, it's hard to really, at least in my life, look back upon a fall camp in August where the vast majority of the fan base is going into the season with not high expectations at any way, shape, or form, and in fact is completely and totally expecting a very average to below average season.
Okay. we had Cole Kubelik with us yesterday, and he was really high on Taylon Green. And if you got a quarterback, you got a shot, right? So what's an expectation on Taylon Green this year?
Well, Taylon Green, unfortunately, is pretty much the beacon of hope. He is the guy to where if you are the optimist, if you are one of those fans that believe that this team can be better than 6-6 from a year ago, it starts with Taylon Green and it ends with Taylon Green, because pairing him with Bobby Petrino for another year, it makes you feel like, okay, this is at least something that can help. He is dynamic. He's got sheer athleticism. He's a big, able-bodied guy. It seems to be that he's as healthy as he's ever been. And he's the type of playmaker that when he's making those plays, he can win you games. He can truly do that. He's got to really work on his decision-making. That was his biggest problem last year, but for all intents and purposes, it's gotten better. But to me, it starts and finishes with Taylon Green. And if Taylon Green is not taking that next step, if he doesn't take that next step, then it's going to be a bad season, plain and simple. And I don't even think that people, at least here in Arkansas, are worried about Taylon Green or anything. It's more about the surrounding cast of characters, to where he's got pretty much a brand new wide receiving core. He's got a brand new tight end room. He's got essentially 3 or 4 brand new starting offensive linemen, and he's got 3 brand new running backs. So it could be Taylon Green be great, but is his surrounding cast as good or better than what they were a year ago? It's really hard to say at this point.
Okay, so what do we know about the supporting cast there on offense?
Well, apparently the running back, the transfer out of New Mexico State, Mike Washington, is going to win the Heisman this year, because I have never heard a player like him get mentioned by every coach in press conferences than this guy. I mean, listen, he's apparently doing really well. He's 6'2", 228. He's doing all the right things. He's fast. He's able to respond to the offense. He has been the talk of the town when it comes to a player that I saw him come from New Mexico State, and I'm like, all right, fine, but he's gotten a lot of love. So it's looking solid there, and they also have Braylon Russell, who was a true freshman last year, had some issues with injury, as well as some hopping into the portal, out of the portal, into the portal again, but he's got a lot of upside. He was a former 4-star, and people are kind of hoping he takes the next step. So you feel fine there. And then at the wide receiver position, which is crucial, Omega Blake was the big transfer Arkansas got out of Charlotte. He was arguably the best player that they got out of the transfer portal. But besides that, they just have a lot of guys. Like, there's guys that could end up being really good, and they could end up taking that next step. I know they have a lot of speed. Bobby Petrino's talked about their speed. He's talked about their athleticism. So there's something there, but is it going to be enough to really spread the love a little bit? And the offensive line, I think they actually improved upon. We'll see once it actually gets out there on the field, but for all intents and purposes, it looks like and sounds like and looks like it's going to be much better. So it all starts up front there, but there's just a lot of unknown and a lot of uncertainty with Taylon Green's cast, and it could end up being really good, but it could end up being just as average as it was last year. Time will tell.
John, all right, so Taylon Green is a big old 6'5" athletic dude. You got some transfers at the skill positions. You mentioned a veteran offensive line. Like, where is the pessimism coming from?
The pessimism is coming from the fact that they just don't, and I'm talking about fans, they just don't have a whole lot of confidence in Sam Pittman. They're just putting it bluntly. You saw last year, Arkansas went 6-6.
They won the bowl game. They were 7-6, John. They won 7 games.
Oh, trust me, I know it. But fans, you get to a point. Here's what it comes down to, Matt, and I think we talked about this. Here's what it comes down to: is it's not that Arkansas has been a joke. It's not like they've been an embarrassment. They haven't been this Chad Morris bottom dweller, anything like that. They've had
right.
bad years.
Context, right? Context, John.
But here's where the context comes into play, is because Razorback fans, they see teams like Ole Miss that they think that they're on the same level as. They see Missouri. They see these others. They're like, hey, how come they are able to be better than us consistently? How come they are able to have better NIL? How come they're able to get better talent? How come they're able to do all these things? And we're stuck over here just going 6-6 and just being happy with it. I think it's just an encompassing of the product around you. It'd be one thing if LSU, Bama, Georgia, Texas, hey, if they were still winning at a high level, like Arkansas is not going to compare themselves to them. But when they see the programs that they feel that they should be just as good, if not better than, constantly having so much higher level of success, it wears on them. And they're like, so what's it going to take for us to get to that point? It just doesn't feel like Sam Pittman and the administration, more importantly here at Arkansas, has really bought into going all in on making the football program as great as it can be.
Okay. He's on Twitter at John Nabors Show, at John Nabors Show. Give him a follow. All right. You want to give me a 10,000-foot view on the defense? Are they going to be okay? What do we think?
Buddy, I'm going to be honest with you. I was always a little bit mysterious about the defense, too, last time we chatted at SEC Media Day. So far this fall camp, I think it's going to be bad, dude. I'm just going to be honest. I think it's going to be bad. They don't have a pass rush. Justice Boone, the transfer they got out of Florida, he's been the guy that they're really hoping can be that next step, because they got to replace Landon Jackson, a guy I know you and LSU are familiar with, but they got to find some replacement for him. And Justice Boone might be that guy. Cam Ball, who's at Media Days, great personality. He's one of the rare, 5-year Razorbacks. You don't see those very often, but you got him. But that's it. That's it. Quincy Rhodes could be okay, but they just don't have a pass rush. They have some decent linebackers. And from what it sounds like in these practices and from the coaches, the secondary has been all over the place. It's been they have athletes and they have size, but they have not communicated well. They have not been able to run the defense very well. And it's just not feeling good. Just for my people that have been in the program, they say that the defense is a very, very worrisome thing. And it could end up being to where Arkansas is just going to have to get into shootouts with teams if they want to be ordered to win, which is not a very sustainable recipe. But I'm very concerned about the defense, Matt. I think that they have some players, even in the linebacking room too. But if you don't have a pass rush, it doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. And unless they get that addressed, which I don't know if they can, it could be another long year for the Arkansas Razorback defense.
All right, John. If there's one reason why I would understand the pessimism, I'd look at the schedule. It's at Ole Miss. For some reason, Arkansas is playing at Memphis. Notre Dame is on the schedule, at Tennessee, A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, at LSU, at Texas, and then Missouri, who y'all never seem to want to beat. That's where I look and go, someone is just trying to get Sam Pittman fired. That's all there is to it.
Dude, I wish I could understand. Listen, I know the SEC schedule is the SEC schedule. We don't really have much of a say in it. But whoever decided to say, hey, let's go play Memphis at Memphis, and thought that was a brilliant idea. I don't know. I think Sam Pittman just has an obsession with the Liberty Bowl, because that's where they're going to end up playing again against Memphis, as they played in it last year. That must be it. That's the only thing I can think of. But I don't know who came up with that. The Notre Dame game is really cool, because Arkansas and Notre Dame have never played each other in the history of the program. So at least that's unique. But even playing Arkansas State for the first time ever in history down in Little Rock is also just a dumb thing that shouldn't be happening. So, yeah, the schedule, honestly, I'm sure you've looked at every SEC schedule, and you can't look at it this way. But you look at Missouri's schedule, man, if Arkansas had that one, it'd probably be like, hey, 7, 8, 9 wins. But it's not going to be that. And so that's another reason, as you say, the pessimism comes in, was not only do you not feel great about your team, but you don't feel great about the schedule. And I've said this many times. You could actually end up having a better overall team this season than what you did a year ago, but your record be worse because the schedule is absolutely brutal. I mean, you mentioned it. Road games in the SEC are Ole Miss, LSU, Texas, and Tennessee. All right, sure, why not? I mean, it's just insane how bad it is.
And you're not wrong about Missouri. I mean, Eli out there flexing about double-digit win seasons whenever they're playing that slate is embarrassing. It's Indiana. It's Indiana canceling a series with Virginia to play directional state U. I mean, that's what college football is becoming. Whatever. Don't start me on that tangent. All right. Inside Arkansas, he's John Nabors, at John Nabors Show, at John Nabors Show. Get him there. We always appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time.
Anytime, as always, guys. Can't wait for the Golden Boot to come back to Fayetteville. It's going to be great.
You can have it. I'll walk over to the building right now and just ship it to you. Actually, that would be expensive. I'm not going to do that. I'm not driving to Northwest Arkansas either.
Don't do that. Just you can keep I'm sure you'll get the win, but just send us the trophy. That's really all we care about.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, John, if you drive down, I will walk you into football ops and just hand you that trophy if you can carry it out.
Yeah, we'll find it in a closet somewhere. I'm sure that it's being kept because that's about how little they care about it.
Yeah, it's on a shelf. It's on a shelf somewhere. All right, thank you, John.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much.
It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Ooh, look at that. Great deals right now on some beers over at Rouse's. Man, mango cart for $9.99. Bud Light, how about that? A 12-pack of Bud Light for $13.49. Y'all get on by and see our friends over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Y'all, they got 70 locations. Lake Charles to Orange Beach, points in between, and they are still locally owned and operated. Still locally owned and operated as they've continued to grow. Love telling you about Rouse's and the way they commit themselves to being local right here in Louisiana and along the Gulf Coast. It's Rouse's. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. All right, Jordan will do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up the hour. I do want to delve a little bit into the Saints receiver room with the Bub Means news that he's going on IR. Are there free agent possibilities the Saints could explore? We'll get to that. Ross Jackson will be here next hour as well. You want to get involved, you can. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show, as always. Don't you move.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. You go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. And Gordon always coming up with creative marketing ideas, and I got great news. The Get Gordon Billboard Design Competition is back. Make it your own. Make it fun. The campaign starts on August the 18th, so that's 4 days, and it'll end September the 21st. So you got about a month. You'll have about 4 weeks. So put on your creative thinking caps there. It's the 3rd annual Get Gordon Billboard Design Competition. You can win up to $2,000 in prizes, a donation to a charity of your choice, and a chance to see your billboard up around Louisiana. So go to getgordon.com/billboards, getgordon.com/billboards. Get Gordon and get it done.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona. Presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
We are wrapping up hour number 2. Glad you are hanging out with us here. We will head out to L.A. Our buddy Ross Jackson from LouisianaSports.net, Locked on Saints, give us an update. He was at Saints-Rams joint practice today, so we'll get an update on what all transpired coming up here in just a smidge. Right now, Jordan has Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right. Odell Beckham Jr. saw on Wednesday a report emerged that several teams are interested in the free agent wide receiver. He also appeared on the Random Podcast with Bill Maher. Odell addressed whether he'll join forces with everybody's favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh.
He's not my favorite.
He's not my favorite, but hey.
You said everybody's favorite.
I have some Rodgers fans out there, so he says, I love him. We've had conversations. Beckham told Maurer.
Turn the bed down.
He told Maurer via Jack Markowski of SNI.com.
Who was he talking to?
Jack Markowski.
No. Maurer?
Oh, Bill Maher.
Who's Bill Maher?
I don't know who this guy
Spell
is. Bill M-A-H-E-R? Maher?
For Bill Maher.
Maher? Okay, Bill Maher.
Why was Odell on Bill Maher's podcast?
I would never guess why he was even on there. But so he said, I won't say that it's not a possibility, and I won't say that I haven't had any communications with Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we shall see if Odell signs with the team. So Mason Smith, defensive tackle Mason Smith, is set to start practicing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Smith was placed on the physically unable to perform list at the announce as he's been activated on Thursday. Smith was a second-round pick last season and started 5 of the 11 games he played for Jacksonville. He has 17 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 passes defended during his rookie season. Kevin Gosman pitched 7 innings last night. He had 3 hits, 3 Ks, 1 walk. 2 earned runs as the Blue Jays fall to the Chicago Cubs 4-1. And Alex Bregman went 0-4 as the Red Sox fall to the Astros 4-1. Josh Smith went 1-for-3 as the Rangers fall to the Diamondbacks 6-4. Cam Sanders didn't even get an inning pitch with 1 K, 1 walk as the Pirates get blown out by the Brewers. Hunt Palmer's going to hate to hear that. And Anissa Morrow, she beat the Sky, and she had 9 points, 9 rebounds, 1 block, 3 blocks. And that's Tigers and the Pros.
Presented by Evermore, EVA-MOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. Natural artesian water. Got mine right here on the set. Stay hydrated, y'all. Find Evermore at great local retailers or online at evermore.com. And send me your pictures. Drink Evermore. Send me your pictures. Tweet me, text me, DM me. Love sharing it with my friends over at Evermore. That's Evermore. All right, Sports Center's coming up. National headlines. Hour 3 is next.
AFR.
Our Lady of the Lake and LSU championship health partners. It's really my pleasure every day to tell you about Our Lady of the Lake. My goodness, just think about how many different ways Our Lady of the Lake continues to expand that relationship with LSU. We learned about the very, very exciting plan for the naming rights of the new arena. That's coming hopefully really soon, but another way. Not only the naming rights of the arena, but you heard EJ and Ryan in studio with us last week talking about how they're going to build an entire medical complex around that arena. The Franciscan missionaries of Our Lady have done incredible work over 100 years with the multi-state health system, the hospitals, the clinics, providing you accessible health care and championship-level health care all throughout our region. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar.